Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike Payne. I'm a session guitarist based in Nashville. In this video, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how to think beyond the Nashville Number System. As many of you know, we use a system here in Nashville called the Number System. And essentially, that system is assigning a chord to each scale tone. And it's a super efficient way of transcribing songs for sessions. And the cool thing about it is you can modulate to any key and you don't have to rewrite the chart. So it ends up saving a lot of time in the studio. And anyway, it's what we use. And but over the recent years, I have grown to notice some weaknesses in that system. And I got to tell you a little story. So I was tracking a record for Walker Hayes, and Sean Hurley was playing bass right on this record. We were booked for a whole week, and you guys know Sean, fantastic. John Mayer, Vertical Horizon, and the list goes on, right? And he flew in from Los Angeles, and I noticed that when the producer was passing out the charts and we're all listening down, he was over in the corner with like a legal pad, like one of these, just rewriting the whole chart. And I thought, what is this guy? What's he doing over there? And he was transcribing it back to into letters from numbers. And, I thought that was kind of interesting at the time. And I know that that's more common in Los Angeles to be reading letters instead of numbers. And the numbers thing is really particular to Nashville, as I've discovered. But anyway, so Sean's over there putting everything in letters. I thought that was kind of cool. But so fast forward years later, I didn't really give it much thought, but I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, Jason Webb, a phenomenal piano player and producer, musician, and he said something that kind of piqued my interest. And he talked about how when you look at letters, you're immediately, you go to where, you don't have to have that extra step involved with your brain to think, okay, I've got to take this number to a chord form. It's immediate, and his brain just it tends to work better when he's looking at letters versus numbers, and just it opens up the possibilities for him instead of getting into these like the number system box. Then maybe I'll just use that term. It can kind of box you in a little bit, particularly with guitar, because we're very shapes driven on guitar, So there's that tendency to just play like in that comfort zone of, okay, this is the progression, and I'm gonna kind of I know what to do, with this progression. I know these forms, and I'm not saying it does this for everybody, but I'm saying it can be it can box you in a little bit and become limiting if you're not careful. So, so I just put together a little verse progression, this key of C, and we're just going to do, I'll tell you the numbers first. 6 minor, 1, 5, and 2 major, right? So let's say it's kind of a Tom Petty type of vibe, right? Well, first of all, let's identify our letter names, okay? So we have A minor, C, G, and D major, right? So we're doing this kind of vibe. okay? And that's probably awesome for like a rhythm guitar part, right? So let's say you throw that part down on the track and the producer's like, okay, great. Now add something else of some more interest, maybe a moving line, maybe something that like an ascending type thing. So this is where the letters, to me, really start to shine, okay? Because now it's like I've got to think, okay, I'm gonna take this up an inversion. I'm gonna maybe have a little bit of a moving top line going on. So if you're not comfortable with other positions on the fretboard and how to get outside of the number system box of just kind of the root position, it can be tricky, right? So now I'm thinking the first thing I try to do now is when I see a number chart is I try to focus on what are the letter names immediately, because all of a sudden it opens up the fretboard to me to all the possibilities that or as many possibilities that I can think of. So for example, like if I wanted to add something just to that little verse part, up an inversion, I might do something like this, that kind of thing. And I'm really thinking A minor to C, G there with that sixth, and then D major. And I think I was just doing a little sus, right? And so, okay. So the producer's like, great, I love that, but it's not working with the vocal. So what I want you to do is scrap that idea. Don't play anything in the mids, in the middle of the neck. I want you to go lower, maybe play just 2 notes, and keep it as low as you can. Okay, all right, let's go. So again, I'm thinking letters, right? I'm thinking, okay, what do I have? What are my options here for A minor, C, G, D? Okay, how about something like this, right? So I go. And maybe that's the ticket. But the point is, you've got to be able to think pretty quick on these sessions. And if you find you're getting boxed in and just thinking, oh, this shape and that shape and this, and I know that the 2 chord is this shape here, and I just feel like that can really be limiting and honestly slow you down too, and limit the possibilities of your own creativity when it comes to carving out parts. So again, this is just kind of some thoughts on this. This is how I like to view the fretboard, even when I'm looking at numbers. And so let's do one more scenario, all right? So the producer's like, okay, remember that idea that you did a second ago that we scrapped? Well, what if you came back to that idea, but you added a little bit of, some like Hendrix vibes going on, for that progression, I'm like, all right, okay, let's see. So I'm, again, totally thinking letters here. I'm thinking A minor, C, G, and D, right? So I'm going to play something maybe like, I'm just going to come up with some. A minor, so Hendrixy. Let's go to this pickup. Let's see what we got. You know, something like that in that flavor. Maybe that wasn't exactly it, but that gets kind of, gets in the ballpark of the Hendrix thing. And again, like, these are just fun ways to reinterpret the progression. And I find that when I'm just going to kind of restate this again, but when I'm just seeing numbers, I find that I'm musically speaking, I'm not really thinking. I'm just not thinking as clear musically as I am when I'm looking at a letter name. Now, I don't sit and rewrite the chart on sessions typically, unless the number system actually does have its limitations sometimes too, when the music becomes too complex for the number system. Again, this is just kind of my opinion on it, but sometimes I will rewrite a chart that is more complicated. I'll take it from numbers into letters so that I can have it just allows me a much better grasp of the song and where the chords are going to fit nicely on the guitar to complement the melody and to accomplish what you want to in the song, where the guitar is going to sit the best. So I feel like this is probably a fairly deep well of conversation, but I just wanted to at least get the conversation started here and just kind of tell you a little bit of like my approach when I'm sitting down in the hot seat. And so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed hearing about some of this. And I totally forgot to mention it, but please do subscribe. I'd love to grow this channel, and that really helps me, and hopefully it will help you and be notified about new content as I put things together. So thanks for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.